Hello. I'd like to take a moment to tell you all about my new Scale Mail Inlay Designer. I just pushed up version 1 today being the 23rd of November 2015. Greetings, people in the future! And just tell you a little bit about it. Now, I know, it's not like some crazy announcement of something, that'll change the world, but there's nothing like this as far as I'm aware, and I'm pretty proud of it. I put it together over the weekend, rather than working on any Voyager stuff. But let's take a look. What is Scale Mail? Scale Mail is armor. If you don't know what Scale Mail is, then this probably won't interest you at all and you should probably leave the video. No, don't do that. No. This tool basically allows you to design the inlays without having to resort to Photoshop and extensive fill tool buckets and what have you. So a very quick look at how it works. Let's say we want to make an inlay which has a top row of 6 scales and goes down by 8. We select which material we want our thing to be made out of. In this case I'm going to go for orange. By default it's this brushed aluminium. And we'll just click build. Oh wow, isn't that pretty? Yes, it is. And as you can see, this tool will now allow me to grab, say, these frost scales, and I can just boop, 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 boop. Very simple, very quick, very easy. Certainly much faster than using Photoshop, and with these scales, these are images I've taken directly off actual scales that I actually have, I think with the exception of blue, shiny gold, and a couple of the other colours, because I don't have those colours, unfortunately. It'll allow you to get a pretty good idea of what it looks like under the lighting conditions under which I took the photograph. So certainly it's going to look nicer than just flat colours that don't really represent what it will kind of look like. Another feature, you can grab the no scale, and you can just go ahead and take scales out of the pattern. You'll note that it doesn't actually remove the scale, it's still there if you want to put them back. It just hides them if that's what your inlay requires. Nice features. And you can go ahead and combine these colours in any quantity, variety, doesn't matter. Does not matter at all. The other things that it does, up here at the top you can see that this inlay is about 98mm wide. This by default is at the small scale and about 64mm high. Uses 52 scales, about 18.2 grams, 104 rings, 13.52 grams, with a total weight of 31.72 grams. This does not take into account these these invisibles, these scales that don't exist, and doesn't take into account stabilization of edges. But it's a rough estimate of what you've got. And if I want to use large scales instead of small, you push the large, changes the units, and suddenly you know exactly well, not exactly, the estimated size and weight of it. Because the large and small scales are the same size, obviously all it does is change the units. Currently there's no saving or loading, that's the next thing I'm going to work on. But once I've got that in place, you can use this to pretty much build whatever you want. I suppose you could use it if you wanted to design an entire suit of something and not just an inlay. It entirely runs on JavaScript, so you can make it as big as you want. It'll just stress your computer as much as your computer can take. So if your computer can take a huge design that's like 30 by 50, then go for it. Why not? As you'll see, it just stretches out to the side and down. That could be a nice desktop wallpaper. If you want to zoom, just use the browser's zoom function that's inbuilt, in this case control and scroll wheel. And we can just start designing away. It's as simple as selecting the scale you want and clicking the button. I'll fix that. So go ahead and give it a play. There's a link down in the description, and it's there to be used in whatever manner you so desire. I do not care what you do with it. It's designed for designing Scale Mail Inlay, but perhaps you can think of something that you want to use it for that doesn't involve Scale Mail or inlays. I don't know. You're the crazy one here, not me. If you have comments, features, and suggestions, feel free to leave them down in the comments. There's a Reddit thread I've posted on Facebook, I've got it on Twitter. I've also made a post on the Ringlord forum. So feel free to go ahead and try any of those channels. That'll do it for now. I'm Raven. And that's all from the lair.